Gosh, that stream delay, though. All right. They're off. So like we said, they're running in the English version, and which means you're going to be seeing 2 minutes and 47 seconds of extra text. So we hope y'all like words, because we're going to get a lot of them here. Humorously enough, when you're actually trying to go for a PB, you don't actually worry about text that much, because the in-game timer only runs while you're controlling Samus, which means not during text. But in a race, it's important. It is important, so you have to get your text mashing on point, and it's not as simple as just mashing two buttons back and forth. That's not unoptimal. You want to be holding down your button to make the text advance, and then press another button to advance to the next box. So it's a little bit of a combination of timing and just knowing where each text box ends. But right now, they are just both heading over to the Quarantine Bay to kill a single enemy, then come back for more words. You're probably going to see them both do very similar movement through here, just minor differences. Monkey having a little bit of... making a little bit of some minor movement errors on the way here. So they're still staying right on top of each other. Actually, while the computer talks about the X-Parasite, the dumbest name for a big bad in any game ever, because that's... seriously, this is the future, this is outer space. We could have called it anything. We could have called it... I'm not a cool person, so I can't think of a cooler name, but someone who is cooler than me could have easily come up with a better name for that. But the fact of the matter is, we have to deal with the X-Parasites. They're taking over this station, and we are the only, literally, the only person in existence who can deal with the X-Parasites and not get killed by them outright. So, it is up to Samus and Monkey and MetroidMaster to take care of the X-Menace.
Can we call it Space Jello?
We can call it Space Jello, because there's always room for Space Jello. Hello, Russ, how are you?
Not too bad.
Well, that's good, it's good. The Y parasite. Why indeed. Folks talking about Fusion Rando. Well, the thing about Fusion Rando is this game is linear because of the much maligned event system. For the same reason that there's a lot of text, you have to do things in a certain order because the game sets certain flags, then checks for them. And anytime we've tried to break sequence using something like a utility or anything like that to remake rooms and do bosses out of order, the game just kind of flips out. I think I've actually heard that there's someone who's managed to override the event system, but nothing has been done with that information yet, so it'd be kind of cool. We might actually see some more creative stuff in Fusion ROM hacking soon, but nothing has happened with that yet.
Yeah, the way that from what I understand, the way that the event system works is that, like, let's say right now, for example, the game is expecting you to get Morph Balls soon. So if you go out of your way and let's say you actually skip Arachnus and go to, like, let's say Charge Beam, when you do pick up the Charge Beam X, the game will think, well, the game's expecting you to get Morph Balls, so what happens is that instead of you getting the Charge Beam, you'll get the Morph Ball instead.
Yeah,
then, yeah, you'd have to come back and fight the Core X that has a Charge Beam that no longer exists because you just killed it. So, and then that's when things start getting like a little weird.
Yeah, the power-ups are sequential, essentially, which means that if you do the bosses out of order, you still get the power-ups in the order the game wants you to get them.
And from what I understand, doors are included in this event system too. So, like, let's say you skip everything and then you unlock the first security door, you're gonna get your missiles.
That's amazing. I unlock the doors and suddenly I can drop power bombs. What's going on here?
Well, you don't unlock the doors, you get missiles.
Which is great, because in some cases you go into a security room and you can't leave unless you unlock the doors, so guess what? You just soft-locked.
Yep.
Monkey, meanwhile, is deciding to give the Corex some hugs. I'm not sure what he's... Oh, he's trying to go fancy here. I was actually hoping Monkey is delivering. It's like, Monkey, you better go for some fancy strats here, because this is an exhibition race. So, he's delivering so far. But no, yeah. Although, like I said, I was actually on the Metroid construction forums, and someone has apparently... They showed a proof of concept video where they actually figured out the parts in the assembly code that handle the event system and was actually able to kill a boss out of order and showed getting the proper item from that boss instead of the item in sequential order. So I think they have figured out ways to actually get around the event system. Just like I said, no one's actually done anything with that yet. That would be pretty cool if they did, though.
But would you really want to see a randomizer of fusion?
Oh my god. The problem with that is just that there's so many things that could go catastrophically wrong with it. Like, you get a random item here. Now, unfortunately, you can't leave the room.
Yeah, it's with the way that the layout is for all these sectors and main deck, and the way that Fusion is just as a game itself. Every time you get something new, the game wants you to try it out in like the very next room. You know what I mean? So, like, let's say for example, you go to the missile data room, you get wave beam, right? You won't be able to leave because the wall is a missile block, you know, and like it just ruins everything.
Yeah, it would require a fusion randomizer would require some serious restructuring of the game as well, or maybe something where it like randomly changes what the blocks and obstructions are. But it's just, yeah, breaking the event system is more something that's cool for just ROM hacks rather than a rando. I don't know if a fusion rando would work that well.
Yeah, it's, I don't know. I mean, compared to the other Metroid games like Super Metroid, for example, like the moment you enter the planet that I'm not going to name because I'm pretty sure I'll be corrected, there are already multiple paths that you could go, you know. So the very first item, like you get your morph ball, you have like 3 different routes that you can go from there. But in Fusion, there's only one way. It's this way or die, or get soft lock.
Yeah, the closest thing to choice of sequence is whether or not you grab if you're doing a hundo, whether or not you grab an item now or later, and that's not really sequence breaking in the slightest. I don't know, did either of them grab the main deck missile? I think Monkey did.
Looking at MetroidMaster's screen, it looks like he definitely did. Should not have 20 here.
Okay.
Monkey
Actually, yeah,
doing some pull-ups.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about missiles is you're going to see most folks probably go for 40, but some folks opt to go for 45 just as a safety. Makes Sector 1 easier, and it makes a couple of later bosses easier, just not having to worry about missile count.
45 is quickly becoming the standard, though.
You think
Eagle, so? Yeah, Eagle tied the world record with 45, showing that it can be done. So a lot of people nowadays go for 45, and you actually rarely see anyone do a 40. You might see JC do it in the tournament, but everyone else is probably going to go 45.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where it kind of became the. I think it may kind of become the norm because I know JRP does 40, and well, JRP is the world record holder, the absolute fastest run, and kind of the face of fast fusion running. So I mean, a lot of folks just go to his run as the go-to to learn. So
yeah, it's definitely possible to run the game at 40 missiles. You just have to know exactly what you are doing and cannot be afforded any mistakes, like in Sector 1, for example.
yeah.
And it gets worse because after Sector 1, you have to worry about Sector 6, where you need 3 missiles to break the missile barrier, and you don't get any refills between killing Ceres and Sector 6, so you have to make sure that your missile is, always topped off, or else. And then once you have to do the backup strat at Sector 6, you've already lost the time advantage that you would get for having only 40 missiles.
Yeah, so despite this game being a linear race, there still are a lot of things that you have to decide, or a lot of ways that the run can change as you go, depending on how well you're playing or just how well your missile count's doing. Like also in Sector 4, if you happen to screw up the Shine Spark after lowering the water, you grab the quote-unquote Missile of Shame. At that point, you can say, hey, do I want to grab all the remaining missile tanks and have a bit more missiles, or do I want to skip one later, which I think usually means skipping the Sector 6 tank.
Yes. Although, there is some debate as to what is actually slower. I think it's either the Sector 6 missile or the elevator missile in the room that SAX destroys for you in the first cutscene.
Has anyone actually timed that? Because I think that's also one that either that one or the animal tank is also one that I see sometimes folks not get.
There is a spreadsheet out there that times all the common missiles picked up for any percent. And I think it is Sector 6 and the elevator missile that are among the slowest. Actually, there's one that's a lot slower than all that. It's the second missile expansion, but you need that for Arachnus, so it's definitely mandatory to get.
Yeah. Yeah, Arachnus takes 15 missiles, and then you gotta take care of the core. And even if you play absolutely perfectly, it's still faster to grab that missile tank than to have to farm green X's off the Arachnus core. Well, I think the TAS does it with 35 missiles, but then again, that's a TAS, so it's its own special case.
35 missiles is also it is the actual optimal missile count for a normal player. The problem with that is that obviously you really need to know what you're doing with your missiles, and there are no mistakes. You would have to do extra charge beams, I think, at Bucks you would either have to maintain full health or have extra charge beam shots at Bucks if you want to get 3 missiles for Sector 6. And
also, Notori as well. You'd have to have full health to get green X's off the core, and probably have a very tight missile count for dealing with it quickly.
For Notori, it's a little different. You would have to shoot a total of 9 9 power bombs and charge beams combined in order for you to have the exact missile count for killing Notori, and provided that you still have full health after that, then you can get your green X's.
Both of them staying right on top of each other, though, heading into Sector 2. Missiles are less of an issue here. Now the big issue becomes health. Monkey having a slightly less than ideal Zoro placement in this room, and also suddenly forgetting how to wall jump. MetroidMaster playing reasonably well, but you may have noticed in a few spots that he uses slightly different movement in rooms, which is not bad movement, but Monkey is playing with what is widely considered the optimal movement in several of these rooms. MetroidMaster is doing what that's a big part of this game, is just doing what you can do consistently, comfortably, which in some cases is not quite as fast. So for example, right there, MetroidMaster opting to jump over that Zoro instead of doing 2 missiles to kill it, which is a little bit slower because jumping is slower than running, but Zoros also do 45 damage, and health is very important at this point.
Yep, as you can see, MetroidMaster has only 78 health, which means 2 hits and he's out. Hopefully, he can survive the Sector 2.
Yeah. Thankfully, I think as long as he just plays it safe, which I think he's going to do here, he should be in pretty good shape. Yeah, thankfully a fully charged shot takes out a Zoro.
Oh, big question in the chat. Where are the biggest RNG moments? Basically everywhere.
Well, I don't know if everywhere. I would say definitely throughout the run there's RNG.
Almost every boss has some kind of RNG element. The boss coming up is one of the biggest ones where you could lose like 20 seconds or more, depending on your RNG.
Yeah, and every single boss that has an eye door, the eye doors can, especially now that we have Charge Beam, you can get from anywhere from 0 to 4 eye beams, and each eye beam adds what, I want to say 3 seconds, because you can't hit the weak spot and you just have to wait.
Yeah, it's roughly 3 seconds, and that includes the time it takes for the eye to open and shoot the beam at you, which is also RNG, believe it or not. The eye can remain shut for a very long time before it decides to open.
Yeah, sometimes you might actually just see them run up to the door and the eye is already open. Sometimes you have to see them run up and have to wait a second, so not much you can do aside from just wait. You're at the game's mercy with eye doors. Now Monkey's coming into Zazabi here. Zazabi can give you anywhere between 3 to 12 extra jumps before it, so you're hoping for 3. Usually you'll get 5 to 7. That's what I see most often.
Oh yeah, Monkey getting that max first round. He already has 3. Potential for 9 more here. Let's see, 4. Okay, so he gets the good second round.
Ooh, MetroidMaster. You should be fine here. There's an E-Tank coming up, and none of the enemies are directly in your way, but...
So Monkey getting 8 jumps.
Oh, getting extra jumps because he was not lined up for that final hit.
I don't know. I mean, he has a million missiles at this point. It doesn't hurt to just spam as many missiles as you can at the boss before it lands on you.
Yeah, this is one of the bosses usually where you don't actually stop to grab the red X before coming in because it doesn't take that many missiles. So MetroidMaster getting pretty good RNG so far in the first couple of phases here.
Yeah, he's got 2 right now. He's gonna go for 6 jumps total. So better RNG for MetroidMaster.
Yeah, that's average. You get a 6 jump Zazabi, you count your blessings and just go with it. Getting the first double too, so MetroidMaster might actually have a better core fight here. Oh, I spoke too soon. My bad, I cursed him.
You guys can't troll me. I know you're not gonna do stack skip.
Monkey showing how it's showing off the lower part of this room because I don't know. Oh, you can actually wall jump off that wall. That didn't occur to me. I'll have to start doing that. Yeah, past a certain point, all your time saves in this game will come from just clean movement. So, seeing different runners run this game, you're always going to see them do things a little bit differently. But there are some things that you just see often because it's just unquestionably faster. And even now, after running this game over 50 times, I still find new things. I'm like, oh gosh, I didn't think of that. One of the things I actually really enjoy about this game, it makes it a really fun speed run.
MetroidMaster, also showing the bottom of that room. It's nice to know what it looks like every now and then.
Yeah, because you don't actually get to see it without the Zoros, so getting to see the cocoons is kind of a rare treat.
Interesting thing about Sector 2 and the Zoros and the cocoons is that as you progress in the game, you'll see the evolution of the Zoro into the Key Hunter. So the first time you enter Sector 2, you see the Zoros, or basically caterpillars, and after killing Zazbi, you'll see that they've all started their cocoon phase in life, whatever. And later on, once you revisit Sector 2, you'll start to see a ton of Key Hunters in the area.
Yep, so they evolve from the most dangerous early game enemy into one of the most dangerous late game enemies. How nice.
Yeah, it's definitely the hardest hitting enemy in the game. It's roughly 130 damage, I think. If you are a 0% runner, one touch from those guys and you're done. And it sucks because you're so far into the game and getting hit by a Key Hunter is just really demotivating.
Yeah, I think a lot of people actually don't enjoy this game because enemies tend to do a lot of damage in the early game, then later on you have the Key Hunters. So, but I mean, it's definitely one of the challenges of running this game in a low percent category or even just the early game in any category.
Well, I can see that I can see the damage being so high because of how many E-tanks the game gives you. So as a casual player, you know, you shouldn't be expected to be in Sector 4 with just one E-tank. You would have found a lot more E-tanks by now.
True enough. We are definitely playing in a way that the game is not designed around. Both of them now in Sector 4. Probably the first sector that has really quick, complex movement, so if your movement is good, you can definitely gain a lot of time in this sector. And also the first boss that can really just start killing your fun. Coming up on Zazabi. Not Zaz. Oh my god. Brain! I need you to be on. Coming up on Ceres. Which is the poster child for why the Charge Beam Infusion is the best Charge Beam. A lot of people hate Ceres, but I actually think Ceres is a very cool boss. Like it's got different movements that once you get the hang of them, you can actually you can anticipate where it's going to be. And knowing how to use the charging correctly will just shave so much time off this fight. And just there, you saw Monkey do it in 2 cycles. Ceres has, what is it, 45 health? So normally, I think it's 45.
Like that, yeah.
Yeah, so normally it would take 5 missiles if you're playing casually, but with the charge beam, if you hit it with both parts of the beam and the flash, you're doing 26 damage right there. So 2 charge beam shots plus flare, 2 cycles Ceres. Let's see if MetroidMaster can do it as well. I think MetroidMaster has struggled with the Ceres fight in the past, but he's been practicing it, so let's see how that works out for him.
I don't know about you guys, but I just saw Homer Simpson show up on Monkey's side. Maybe you'll catch it on MetroidMaster's side when he's done with Ceres. Let me know if you find him.
MetroidMaster seems like he's opting for a safe strat. Oh no, gets that 2 cycle. Very nice. Homer Simpson. God, now you're gonna have me looking for him.
Oh, you'll see it soon. Did you see him?
The cool music ended. That's unfortunate. All right, MetroidMaster. Okay, he unfortunately he's had trouble with that trick. He's apparently he can't quite mash jump fast enough to get that low height to take off there, so he has to do it the intended way. Oh, I see him now. Dang it, Ross! I'm never going to not be able to see that now.
He's everywhere. Oh, there he is.
Yeah, for those of you just joining us, this is a Monkey MetroidMaster here is not the scheduled race. We had to reschedule that race, but we didn't want to leave y'all empty-handed, so we're having an exhibition race between Monkey and MetroidMaster here. Yeah, on the plus side, since it's an exhibition race, a little bit less serious, we can we're going to see Monkey probably do a few little unusual things, and we can also maybe talk about a few of the things that we normally wouldn't get to talk about during a race. MetroidMaster not quite getting the distance to set up for that low height. Monkey in Sector 3, MetroidMaster right behind. Gonna unlock those green doors, hopefully actually unlock them and not get some out-of-sequence item. And then go fight Box. With super missiles. The best missile power-up. It's interesting to note, though, that the game lies. The computer tells you that your firepower will triple when you get super missiles. That is an outright lie. Your firepower quintuples. Super missiles do 50 damage compared to missiles 10.
Pretty big damage.
The biggest. And they shake the screen and have a very satisfying explosion sound, too. Very useful weapon. Unfortunately, you do not keep it for very long before you get the missile downgrade in Sector 5. Oh man, I was hoping Monkey would try to go for the try to go for Bob Skip just for swag. the Shine Spark Bob Skip.
Oh, Monkey gets knocked out of his Shine Spark, and he tries to bomb the door. I mean, the door can open with a normal beam. Using a bomb there is not very optimal. And he pulls a Kirby, which is not planting a bomb before picking up Bob. You know, effectively losing you some time.
Oh my gosh, that side hopper jumped. That second side hopper like never jumps.
I just learned yesterday that you don't actually need to shoot 3 missiles at the second side hopper.
Really? Why not?
Because if you did it properly after you killed the first one, you would have already charged your speed booster, and the speed booster would take care of it.
Oh, you're right. And Monkey getting the data spark, the hard part, and not opening the door in time. That's true, actually. I think the other night I speed boosted and hit the third side hopper after not firing the third missile. Oh my gosh,
Monkey having some issues with box here.
Come on, Monkey.
Very low on health.
Monkey
needs to be super careful here.
Monkey, for goodness sake, please don't die this exhibition race.
He's got 2 hits, I think, from the 3 side hoppers coming up here. He needs to be really careful. He's going to use a missile here just to be extra safe. Or not. Okay, he will.
Yeah. He's got enough missiles to be able to take these out and have plenty left over for Sector 6. So he just has to not give the side hoppers hugs, and he's in good shape. There we go.
Yeah, so as you can see, you'll see here in MetroidMaster's side, if you just keep holding right, eventually you'll speed booster and kill that second side hopper. It's pretty good for missile management if you don't have that many missiles. Oh, he gets hit.
He knocked the third missile off, though.
Yeah. So, like what I said, it's basically if you're trying to do a 35 missile run, it's things like that that you need to look out for because you really desperately need missiles at any point in the game. There's no room for wasting a single missile.
MetroidMaster opting to Shine Spark to the left here, which I think is a little bit slower than just running, because you don't actually have to go all the way up against the left in order to spawn bots.
Right, and for the viewers, the Shine Spark is actually deceptively slower than like you might think it is, because of the fact that the wind-up animation and the bonk when you slam into a wall takes away so much from the speed that it would give you. So in shorter rooms like MetroidMaster was in, doing a Shine Spark there is actually slower because you have to factor in the animation that you need to wait for.
Yeah. So it's basically one of those things where Speed Booster is an incredibly useful item. In some cases you can just run and jump, but Shine Sparking, while faster than speed running, is only useful in long rooms.
Yeah, and if this was 100% and during cleanup, you will see, you might see runners opt to do space boosting instead of Shine Sparking, because space boosting does not have any of that wind up and bonk animation, but it's like you know, a million times more difficult than simply Shine Sparking.
Yeah, but it does have some perks, like you can using the R trigger, you can actually shoot while space boosting, so you can open doors and continue the space boost, which is there's a lot of things to consider, because Shine Sparking is faster than space boosting, like strictly speaking, but you can't do as much while you're Shine Sparking as you can while you're space boosting.
Actually, Shine Sparking is the same speed as space boosting.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay.
Because you're both for both, like Shine Spark is the same speed as a normal speed booster run, and so is speed boost. Or sorry, space boost. So the only difference between the two is that you don't have to worry about wind up and bonk. And obviously, if you're not really good at space boosting, you're likely to drop it, which costs you even more time.
Yeah, which is understandable because the space jump in this game is hot steaming garbage.
Somebody rated it second to last, I think, just ahead of Metroid 2's space jumping.
Really?
Yep.
Metroid 2's space jumping is not as bad as the space jump in this game. I don't care what anyone says. It might not be as fast, but it's easier to at least be consistently hold the jumps.
Well, either way, I think it's still unfair because Metroid 2 has this absurdly dumb deboost mechanic that just like ruins the game.
Oh, you mean anything where you can just take damage and then just jump again?
Yeah, so you're trying to clear vertical spaces, you hit an enemy, and, oh look, I can space boost, quote unquote, or I can space jump off of this enemy.
I'm just going to climb around the outside of this 10-story tower by impaling myself on spikes repeatedly. It's fine. Oh man, MetroidMaster having a little bit of trouble with those blue X's, though. He doesn't seem to be in any danger of dying, but he definitely took some hits. I'm not sure what he was trying to do there with taking that shine charge, but okay. I thought he was about to show us something really cool, but it's like, I wonder where he's going to shine spark with that. Unfortunately, spider throwing also not making a comeback from Metroid 2.
I wonder how Fusion would be if you had Spider Ball. And I wonder why they took it out of future Metroid games.
I think it's probably one of those things where if you have an item that lets you crawl on the walls and ceilings, you kind of feel obligated to hide things up there, and that just slows down your pace a lot. Super Metroid definitely plays a lot faster than Metroid 2 does. And not just in speedruns, and just in the general sense.
Well, I don't know about that. There is that one item in Wrecked Ship in Super Metroid that is literally up in the ceiling, or the sky, because there is no ceiling.
Yeah, that's, you know, you're not wrong. That's absolutely true. That one missile tank outside, but it's like in Metroid 2. There's a bunch of items like that. And there's also just a lot of places where you have to, especially before you get the space jump, where you have to just kind of slowly crawl up the walls to get up to like a platform.
What, you don't have enough enemies that you need space jump?
I mean, if you're not using the day boost, I mean, God. No, but Spider Ball could make a comeback, because I mean, I think AM2R and Samus Returns have shown that with a quick release button for it, Spider Ball can actually be quicker than it used to be. But
it would be funny to see the help text for Space Jump in Metroid 2. Continuously jump in midair without enemies, without use of enemy.
Dang it, Ross. Alright, but they're both in... But, we didn't talk about Giant Core X because the various suit you get from it is the worst suit in any Metroid game, period. And yes, it's even worse than the Dark suit in Prime 2.
I don't believe you.
Well, whether or not you believe me doesn't change the fact that I'm right.
It's the greatest looking Metroid suit.
I still say the Dark suit is the result of someone saying, what if we tried to make a steampunk suit? No, but Monkey on his way to Sector 5 to get the missile downgrade. This room in Sector 5 is kind of terrible because it's very easy for the Rippers just to kind of fly right into your face. All you can do is just kind of react to the multiple places they can be. Hey, maybe Monkey will try to get reverse ice missiles.
We'll see.
Or actually, no, that's not the term for it. What's the name? It's like a data spark, not data shine spark.
It is reverse ice.
Okay, reverse ice.
Yeah. Let's see if he's swag-tastic enough to do this.
Come on, Monkey.
I know Monkey's in the chat. I think we should remind him like minutes early. Oh, there you go.
Oh, he's going for
I think he heard it. So we'll see.
Come on, Monkey. Oh.
Starting the pause buffer way too early here is going to cost him when he doesn't get it.
Doesn't get it. And we're talking about reverse ice. Maybe we're lucky we'll actually summon Jagger G into the chat. Okay, he's only tried it once. Okay, that's fair, because MetroidMaster is actually playing well enough that Monkey can't just keep trying that trick. I would have literally started plotting into the microphone if he had actually gotten it.
Well, Monkey loses about 15, around 15 seconds attempting it and failing. So it's definitely a chance for MetroidMaster to catch up. I mean, unless MetroidMaster decides to do it himself.
I mean, if MetroidMaster tried it and got it, regardless of the outcome of the race, he would have won all our hearts, let's be honest.
I think we are early enough that I could remind Monkey that there is also a secret message.
Ooh.
And they are playing in English, so we can actually see what the secret message says.
Well, that depends. Would he want to go for the intended secret message strat, or go for the less cool English-only way of doing it?
I was kind of trying not to mention that. Now Monkey has an idea.
I mean, come on. I mean, reasonably, since we're playing on English, he knows that's a thing that exists. I don't think he would have been able to fool him that easily.
Well, he could have like at least forgotten about it.
Actually, yeah, either makes a valid point. This is an exhibition race. The winner of the race is not the person who finishes first, it's the person who finishes the most stylishly. And speaking of style, okay, thank you. I was worried that no one in chat was going to step up and start spamming Frankerzy in chat, because we are now at everybody's favorite chat spam section, the emergency in Frankerzy. And also, speaking of swag, Monkey, wave doubles, when? Not much to say here. We just kind of we actually kind of have the, I guess, the icy hot going on here. We have heat on one side and ice on the other.
Well, fortunately, they both have Varia suit, and as you can see, it resists both extreme heat and extreme cold.
Wow, that's proper insulation. Future tech is so wonderful.
What about extreme room temperature?
72 degrees Fahrenheit exactly, no fractional deviation. Ooh, MetroidMaster getting that swag jump around the corner there that Monkey did not get. Getting some points back in the book there. Actually, I'm trying to remember. If you go down into Sector 5 before getting the Various suit, even before you get into the cold room, do you just take damage?
No. It's after you leave the recharge room.
Okay, so even in the non... Okay, so immediately, even in the rooms that aren't just blue with ice, you still take damage?
Correct.
Okay. Interesting. I never actually bothered doing it, but I've always wondered about that. Monkey getting a 433, which is actually that's a very, very good time for emergency. So he did really well there.
I think in Sector 5, if you can hear that winter Christmassy music, then you probably are subject to taking damage.
Yeah, Christmas music.
And that's what it sounds like to me.
Space Christmas.
It's like, hey, what kind of music do we want for this cold theme? Christmas bells, please.
Sounds about right. MetroidMaster doing pretty well so far in Sector 3. Oh, split it to part of the right there, it looks like. Oh. Took a couple of bonks. They had, a high five of sorts, one falling, one climbing. Putting the X back in Xmas. That's what this game does.
It is the gift that keeps on giving.
Oh boy, howdy is it ever. MetroidMaster often takes some slightly safer strats through this part of emergency here. Oh, kind of blocked himself in with frozen enemies though.
You could have done some really funny stuff in MetroidMaster's position there, being surrounded by frozen enemies. You see that abuse more in Metroid Zero Mission, but in Fusion there are ways to abuse frozen enemies, especially in the English version. You can use them to clip through walls and stuff.
Yeah, that's actually also very part of how Zebetite skip works in that game, but now I think we've already probably talked about enough speed tech from other games before Fiesel materializes in both our rooms and starts punching us in the head for being bad. Yes, and someone actually did mention it is actually possible to get a powerbomb tank early in this game, although getting it doesn't actually let you use power bombs, it just lets you get the tank early. Because the event system has decided this is how it's going to be. You will get power bombs when you're ready for power bombs.
If it were possible to Monkey not executing the second half of the impossible strat, and this stretch he's gonna unfreeze. Oh, luckily he was able to clear it. If you could use power bombs early, I think the routing of the game would be a little bit, well, not a lot different, but slightly different. The notable place to use an early power bomb is in Sector 5 on your way back to get power bombs, where you could just power bomb the floor from under that big room.
Yeah. It's much for the same reason that Rando wouldn't work that well. There aren't really many opportunities to sequence breaks even if you do get items early.
Although that by itself could save the runner, I think it's 10 seconds or more, because you don't have to go up and back down.
I think we might see an elevator high five here on the main deck elevator.
Let's see if Monkey skips the elevator missile here. No, he gets it.
He doesn't just skip the missile. He does not skip the missile, but he does skip the high five. All y'all are killing me. Let's see how MetroidMaster decides to handle the stretchies in this room here. I don't think we're going to see him go for impossible strat, but there's a number of different ways you can actually try to get through that room. Alright. Just letting the stretchies do their thing and using them as stairs.
MetroidMaster walking a little bit too far. He tried to go for the shine break the old school way, the harder way. The newer way gives you I think it's a 4-frame buffer, 4-frame window for you to store that shine spark. the old and
Wow.
MetroidMaster gets godlike animal RNG. They
was
all
really
just
fast.
just I don't know, ran right out the door.
They were just waiting on the other side of the door for him to open just to come on out. Dang, that was really good animal RNG though.
I want to see Monkey go for doubles on Yakuza's head.
Ooh. Ooh. Well, there you go, yeah. I'd like to see that too. Monkey's got to get his double practicing, because he has to get those wave doubles after all.
You know what? On second thought, I think it'd be better if he played safe. Monkey trying for the Kadoom strat, it's already too late, and he gets hit by the slugs, so, and he doesn't even break the wall. He's gonna have to come up the intended way. The key thing about that Kadoom strat, if you want it to be faster than the traditional, the intended climb, is that you would have to put the power bomb where the pipe makes an L on that corner. Otherwise, if you do it later, then it's already too slow. It's slower than just climbing up the normal way.
But it's definitely a much cooler looking strat, which for the sake of this exhibition race is what matters. Well, I swear, the hardest part is dropping that power bomb in the right spot quickly, because once you get that done, the rest of it's just a matter of climbing, shoot the thing, then just wall jump.
Yeah. You'll know you did it properly if when you freeze that slug, you freeze it the moment it starts falling from the bomb block being broken from under it.
Although I have found also that it's important to, if you can, to grab that blue X, because I've had that blue X block my missile shot on the slug several times, and it's always annoying.
Yeah, you have to make sure that if you do plan on doing the Kadoom strat, that you freeze that, you shoot that blue X anyway, even if it's out of your way, just to make sure it doesn't bother you.
Oh, Monkey getting spit on here.
Well, fortunately, he does get that speed booster at the last moment, otherwise he'd be supporting a 50 missile count.
Next generation strats from MonkeySMB. Oh, he may have left that room a little bit too early. I don't think I saw the blast hit that second block.
No, he should be fine. If you can see the icon of the power bomb on the first block, then the second one should be fine too.
Really?
It's when neither show up when you have to worry. Like if neither appear, then it's possible that you'll get the first power bomb block to break, but the second one will most definitely not.
Okay, I thought you had to see the icons on both blocks.
No, just the first one.
All right. Well, look at this. Everybody's learning new stuff, even me. These are the little things you gotta keep in mind, though, if you're trying to starting to get your time down lower. This is very much a game of little details, saving a lot of time over the course of the run.
Yeah, and the way that that works is that the blocks can actually break as you're transitioning, even if the icon doesn't show up. So when that first one shows up, then you know for sure that the second one is in range, because that power bomb explosion is still happening as you're transitioning. So it'll definitely break, but you just won't see it.
Okay. And Monkey showing off skipping the E-Tank in this room, which is one of the most challenging bosses in 0%, as it turns out.
Wow, Monkey showing us a blue Yakuza after the very first phase. It's just, means he put tons of missiles in Yakuza's mouth to start. Typically, you would see a brown Yakuza here. And regardless, Monkey still overkills it. He has 45 missiles, so there should be no issue here getting through the second phase of Yakuza and having enough missiles for the Corex. Unless he starts tanking everything.
This phase is a little bit annoying because it's just a matter of reacting to how it's moving.
2 doubles so far.
And the triple double, very nice. MetroidMaster falling right behind, just having the elevator failure. So now the power is out for both of them. And now the power is no longer out for both of them. Monkey turns on the backup generator. Even in the future, you have backup generators. And just imagine this like, really just loud diesel engine just running somewhere on the station. MetroidMaster not dropping a power bomb?
No, so he'll have to stop and put a power bomb down when he gets there again.
And now Monkey gets to go into Sector 2, where there are key hunters waiting. Oh yeah, and also a Sax, but who cares about that? The key hunters are the real threat. Yeah, I think MetroidMaster forgot even up the power bomb. Oh, maybe not. Monkey now has the space jump. I hate this thing. Because you have to be good at using it in order to be able to do optimal strats and a lot of things, including doubles on the upcoming Corex. So if the space jump is not your thing, you're just going to have a bad time. Having great eye door luck, though. Just no beams there.
Monkey, with the excessive use of the charge beam here, he's going to finish Natori with like 5 or 6, maybe 7 extra missiles. Minus that one that he just hit the wall with. So it appears that he did tank a ton of missiles, considering his missile count after killing Natori. Having 45 missiles, people say that the advantage of having 45 missiles is that you get more missiles for Natori, but what they don't realize is that if they excessively use charge beam and power bombs, then that advantage goes away. Natori the boss dies in 48 missiles, charge beams, or power bombs. So when you take that into consideration, having 45 missiles means that you only need to hit Natori with a charge beam or power bomb 3 times total. So if you use like 6 or 7 like Monkey did, then that 6 or 7 times equals the amount of time that you just spent getting that extra missile tank. So it basically just negates itself, and you probably would have been better off getting a 40 missile.
I can't believe you're calling me out like this in front of all these people, Ross.
that is the logic behind the 45 missile and the 40 missile route.
All right, well, I need to work harder on Natori.
Ideally, you would want to finish off Natori with 0 missiles, with perfect missile. Like you can't take a single one. Otherwise, you'd have to resort to using a charge beam. And using a charge beam on Natori's plasma beam phase means that if you're not aiming properly, one or two of the charge beam pellets will just hit the plasma beam for no damage.
Yeah. And both of them getting that 4-round Yakuza. Yakuza just deciding, and neither of you is going to have a good time here. That's what comes down to a Notori, though. It's like having doing the perfect missile stuff isn't good as long as you have full health and get the green drops off of it. Because I mean, if you finish with 0 missiles and you're not at full health, well, keep your fingers crossed.
So, as I mentioned much earlier in the stream, when we revisit Sector 2, we come to... Oh, wait, hold on. Monkey is going to do Nightmare Space Boost here.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
Oh, and he drops in the very first room.
Yeah, the thing about Nightmare Space Boost is, with these broken doors, you have to be moving upward through them, otherwise you appear on the ground on the other side. So...
Yeah, for some reason the game forces you onto the ground in those rooms specifically, for some unknown reason, making the Space Boost a million times harder. If it wasn't for that, Nightmare Space Boost would be the normal strat for that.
Yeah, but it's not even that much faster, though. It's what, like... It's less than a second.
It can save you up to a second if you carry the Space Boost through the entire sequence and onto the water where the slugs are.
But that's super hard.
Yeah, it's really hard, and if you don't get to that point, but you do get far enough, it can save you like up to about half a second.
Yeah, so it's half a second, but the Shine Spark is almost free. It's actually, the setup for it is actually extremely simple. So most folks will just opt. Almost everybody just opts for the Shine Spark. MetroidMaster not quite far ahead enough to make the back spore thing not spawn spores, but still, with power bombs, it's not a big deal. Meanwhile, Monkey facing off against a much less interesting boss. Monkey, what are you doing? Please stop.
Going for the 0% Nightmare Fight strats. It looked like he was caught by surprise with Nightmare's initial movement.
Which is always possible. Nightmare just does what Nightmare wants. Frog in a microwave, yeah. As always, anyone is welcome to put what they think Nightmare looks like in the chat, because we're not entirely sure. Yeah, so next I make a valid point. That sound that Nightmare makes before it becomes vulnerable, it does it 12 times. Ross, do you use an audio cue or a visual cue to figure out when Nightmare's going to start moving?
When he's going to start moving when?
Like, at the beginning of Phase 1, before you jump up to hit him with the charge shot and missile, just get him to Phase 2, like, how do you figure out when to get ready? Do you just kind of just feel it out every time, or do you have, like, a visual cue or an audio cue for that?
I do have a visual cue. Basically, I let Nightmare drop his cannon-looking thing onto my beam. So, like, I keep an eye out on, like, Nightmare rising, and the moment I see him start going, because he's not going to go down, right? When you see him in the introduction, and he's rising and trying to appear, he's only going up. So the moment he starts going down, he'll drop right down into the charge beam with the flare.
Oh, so you just let him come to you instead of actually going up to hit him the first time. Okay.
Yeah, you don't have to jump up. In fact, it's worse to do that because you could risk getting hit and not shooting your beam at all. So I just let Nightmare come right down to me and get hit by the flare.
Interesting. Yeah, I usually do little hops, but it's backfired on me several times. So interesting.
I also do positioning. Where I stand, Samus's back foot
On that line.
is on top of the dot right next to the line.
Oh, the dot next to the line. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because your foot's on the line, you're a little bit too far to the left to be lined up with the weak spot.
Well, not just that. I really want to make sure that the flare hits and all parts of the plasma beam. So I'm much closer to it than if I were to stand on the line itself.
Monkey going for the swag shine spark here. That saves. Actually, I think it actually might be slower than just space jumping up through here, but it looks cool.
Monkey was actually a little bit lucky there that the balloon didn't spawn on time. He only had 66 health, and those balloons do like 50 damage, I think. They hit really hard.
Yeah, they do.
So he got really lucky there, and in the fact that the balloon didn't even spawn. Because sometimes those balloons spawn really quickly.
Yeah, it's pretty much... The X are going to a certain point, but they always just kind of float toward it haphazardly, which in some cases, like at the end of Sector 4, means you have to wait a little bit longer for the enemy to form, but...
So coming up, like I'll kind of show you what I'm talking about here on MetroidMaster side, where I stand,
All right.
and how Nightmare moves. Like when he's vulnerable, he starts going down, and that's when you can release your charge beam. So there's a little dot right there, right next to the crack on the sidewalk, if you will.
Yeah, the dot directly to the right of it. Your back foot on that, you're saying?
Yep.
Okay. And that
right there, you saw it. He just like kind of moved down a little bit. And that's when I released the charge beam.
Yeah, and then one charge shot missile, and you're already in phase 2 at that point. Just starts bobbing up and down.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's phase 3, which just kind of sucks because after it hits you, after it flies into you, it's just gonna start flying around the room, and it is gonna follow you or an invisible dot. You don't know which. You can kind of figure it out sometimes, but dang, he gets good positioning though. Should be able to finish it right here. Nice.
Very nice, clean Nightmare fight for Metroid, much better than Monkey's. But can he get the triple-double? Oh, and he misses the first one.
Feels like he has a pretty good height as far as the X flying in, but he just doesn't quite have his positioning on the ground right. Yeah, the thing about doubles in this game is that as you get missile power-ups and your missiles move faster and have longer cooldown between shots, double missiles get harder and harder to do. So by the time you get to ice missiles, they're far more challenging than they were at the beginning. But by the time you get to diffusion missiles like Monkey has, doubles are extremely difficult.
I know Monkey's really excited to show off his wave core doubles, right?
That's right, he is. He's so excited that he promised multiple times in front of all y'all that he's gonna do them. And here it's gonna be coming up here just this moment. Sure, I'm excited about these wave core doubles we're about to see. Oh, he's actually opting for. Oh, he's trying to be safe on his health because wave core doubles can be a bit dangerous.
Well, not just that. He's actually trying to position Box for the wave core double setup.
Ah, okay. This is a brave new world of Xbox strats here. I usually just kill it quick and just do normal shots.
Oh, and he takes the first one.
Misses the second one. Can he get it here? Oh.
No. Maybe next time.
No wave core doubles today. He tried. At least he tried, but he didn't get them, so it doesn't count. Showing off a little bit of anger there about not getting them. You know, MetroidMaster taking a little bit slower through Underwater Sector 4, because despite the relaxing music and the cool underwater aesthetic, enemies in Underwater Sector 4 do a lot of damage, even though you have the gravity suit. Considering you don't have a refill before the Xbox fight, you don't want to be dropping your health too much before you start heading off to Sector 6. And oh my goodness, Monkey getting the 53 escape. MetroidMaster getting the diffusion missiles. The fusion missiles are kind of unfortunate because, I mean, they give you that like icicle spinny effect thing. Oh no, MetroidMaster ran way too close. Oh, going out the middle path there. Had me a little bit worried.
Fortunately, that's something that you can only do in English if you mess up. Because those that platform layout is a lot different in Japanese.
Yes, indeed. Which is also the same reason the you have alternate strats for certain tricks that you can only do in the US version because of that layout.
Yeah. So difference between English and Japanese, as you saw there for MetroidMaster, is that room in particular where English actually saves you half a second of in-game time because that balloon is closer to you and therefore would get hit by the fusion missiles faster. And also English, because it is the first version of Fusion released, has bugs that Japanese does not because it was patched. And the bug being the out-of-bounds glitch that you would see runners use for 0%. But it was also recently found out, well, maybe not recently, but was made RTA viable not too long ago, is the ice clip that you could do in Sector 2 going up to Metroid from after killing Yakuza. Monkey getting double teamed here.
What are you doing? Monkey.
He's going to die if he doesn't dodge the beams.
Don't die to the gold pirates, please.
He's just standing there.
Monkey.
Monkey is like a NPC where, like, if you were like in a two-man team or something, hitting an NPC, hit him in the back, he turns around, and then the other guy hits him in the back, and then he turns around, just standing there. Like, what do I do? Do I have to jump here?
We're changing his name from MonkeySMB to Monkey NPC. Did he suddenly forget how to speedrun this game? I don't know what's going on.
Oh, my A button doesn't work. Is the likely excuse.
My hands were too cold and they slipped off the button, I don't know.
I thought those yellow beams were parasites that I could get help from.
Alright, let's see how MetroidMaster handles the Xbox fight here. It's jumping away from him, but oh gosh. That's the big danger of this fight. Unlike the first time, it jumps high enough now that it can actually knock you off the ceiling, so gotta be mindful of that, because you also have the electrified water on the ground. Oof. And also, Monkey decided to grab that the energy tank right before Ridley here.
He would have been dead if he didn't get that.
That's true. If he wanted to grab 4 E-tanks, I'm surprised he didn't go for a faster one earlier on in the run.
Just a few more hits here on box. Oh, there you go. One more hit.
Oh my goodness. Wave core does a lot of damage, but MetroidMaster's out of there. Monkey showing off R shooting, which is a trick that's very useful in 100%, not nearly as important in any percent. If you're somersaulting around with a full charge and you press the R button, which is the button you use to fire missiles, the game fires a charge, any charge you have held, without popping you out of a somersault, which is pretty nice.
In fact, you only used R shot twice in any percent effectively, I think. The first instance being in Emergency in Franker Z, after when you get the wide beam, and then the second one is doing the lower Sector 4 space boost. Monkey getting this extra missile tank here.
Yeah, neither of those are required, but they save you a little bit of time.
Oh, he's gonna get all three, I guess.
Oh, okay. Monkey just really likes missiles, I guess. Or
he's gonna
maybe
do cleanup.
He's just gonna do partial cleanup. Okay, I can't wait until we get to see Crumble City from Monkey. Is he actually just going to do cleanup from here on out? Okay. So we were talking about cleanup and 100%, so we're just going to get to see some cool cleanup strats here. It's fine. Yeah, because 100%, once you kill Ridley, you would actually be do exactly this. In fact, you would actually just start going through the sectors in order, using the hidden passageways in order to go get all the items that you didn't grab earlier. He's not actually going to end up with 100% because he did not grab some items earlier on, but he's going to end up with a lot more than you would normally get in any percent.
Well, he's locked now.
Oh, well, so much for that.
You will not be able to pick anything else up other than the one power bomb tank in main deck.
Well, I think if it's a new game plus file, you can actually it doesn't lock you in. You can actually still do other things.
Yeah.
But I didn't see what kind of file this was when he started up, so he may very well just be locked in. We'll see. Just cleaning up a little bit of cleanup. I mean, fire and explosion at the end cleanses everything, but I mean, doesn't mean that you won't be aware of the cleaning you're doing. Charging Spark at Resident Sleeper ain't like the truth.
Hey, look, MetroidMaster can dodge gold pirate beams.
Plus 50 swag points. Alright, let's see how MetroidMaster can have himself a good Ridley fight. Any percent plus, that's right. And in case you all missed it because we weren't listening to Monkey's sound, now you can all enjoy the wonder that is Shouty Boy Ridley. MetroidMaster unfortunately having a little bit of trouble with Ridley because ideally you want to be getting those shots diagonally through his hitbox from his hands up to the back of its head. But getting a lot of shots missing, hitting the tail, or just having to fire vertically due to just bad positioning. And the biggest threat in the Ridley fight is just he does a lot of damage. He can kill you, even with a lot of practice. So you just gotta kill him fast before he kills you. Ridley touches the same beam? Well, it's not quite, actually. It's more that once the beam is inside Ridley, the plasma beam does damage per frame. So every frame it's inside Ridley's hitbox, it's doing damage. So naturally, you want to maximize the number of frames it's in there, so you shoot diagonally through his hitbox. It's a square hitbox, and if mathematics has taught me anything, it's that the diagonal through a square is the single longest line. So there you go. And Monkey going for the final item. In 100%, this would be the final item you pick up. And then you add the you follow it up with that missile just for a little bit of garnish. Faison, you say that, but it's definitely been a bit of off the rails commentary this time. So useful math, yeah. They told you would not use math after that math after high school. Surprise, surprise, speed running. Yes, indeed. Someone's mentioning that. We have, in fact, had Ridley finish off one of the racers earlier on during round one.
It was Hercules bench press.
I wasn't going to call him out, but Ross stepping it up. Thank you, Ross. Monkey doing the horizontal strats on the sacks there. I think you normally tend to see folks do the diagonal, but...
Oh, he gets a double there. Very nice. That one tinks.
All y'all with your
two
doubles.
Pretty good I-score fight with two doubles.
Yeah, absolutely. That's 2 rounds of invincibility frames you did not have to deal with.
Monkey coming up on the final boss of the game. I wonder if Monkey will actually try to clean up now and get that 100% for the challenge percent completion.
Or at the very least, try to get Pogo. I'd settle for a Pogo. I'm pretty sure, unfortunately, the game puts up one of the unopenable doors at this point, so you cannot go back into the sectors. Oh! I didn't actually know that you could go back in there and that room would look like that. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it looks really weird.
Looks like it's been beaten up, almost as if this big boy here was playing around in there. And no Pogo either, minus 50 swag points.
He could still try to go for it.
Could he?
The mid-air glitch instead of the Pogo.
He could go for mid-air glitch. But will he? That's the burning question.
I don't think he will. He's too scared. Oh, no. He gets knocked out of the stun lock there. Could die here. If he gets a double swipe, he's done.
Monkey, don't actually die on Omega. Please don't pull a JRP. Oh, no! Monkey.
And we see the Game Boy screen strats here for Monkey.
Oh, boy. Chat seems to be really enjoying that.
Monkey decides that, you know what, the research lab is actually too valuable to destroy. Let's reset the game here and bring the space lab back.
Yeah, that's an odd strat, but a strat that totally works. Yeah, pulling a JRP. Hey, Monkey, nice JRP strat.
Oh, that was a race.
That's what you get for not trying Pogo.
Well, that's not very nice. Hold on. I can make it up. I can make it up.
No, it's too late. Too late. MetroidMaster. Oh, I thought I was gonna try to just freeze him right in front of him. Just give Sax a little kiss. Just gonna fight him on the ground. It's fair. The Sax quick kill, despite the fact that Monkey made it look pretty simple, is actually very easy to screw up. Just keeping it frozen is a very tight window. Using your save states, disqualified forever.
I did some nice cleanup though.
You did some cleanup.
I actually forgot that it wasn't Hundo.
And you've died twice. Monkey, please.
Nah. It's alright, that one was gonna be like a 49 at best. It was not very good.
I'm pretty sure that means you're gonna get a DNF on your next race just by default.
What?
Meanwhile, MetroidMaster has finished off the Sax and the Ice Core. On his way to finish this thing off. Excuse me. Actually, wait, is MetroidMaster on PB pace?
He might be.
I think he might be on PB pace.
Because when I died, I was still on like 50 pace. And I mean, it's only been, what, 4 minutes? So he could definitely get like a 54, 55.
Yeah, I think he's on PB pace. So let's see. MetroidMaster just has a Omega Pirate. God,
Omega Pirate.
Yeah. Just has the Omega Metroid standing between him and the end. See if we can get that quick kill set up. Oh yeah, also, while you were gone, we decided that because you were getting knocked around using really bad strats on the 2 gold pirates, your name is now MonkeySMB.
Oh yeah, those gold pirates were really good.
The one that was shooting you in the back, you just turn around, and the other one would shoot you, you turn around, and just like...
Yeah, once you get hit once, it's like, okay, you can still recover it. Once you get hit twice, it's over. You're just done.
Uh-huh, that sounds like an excuse.
You know, I just realized...
Oh, he's too close! Oh no!
When Samus gets the Ice X from SAX... Ooh! MetroidMaster.
Come on, MetroidMaster, you got this. Just finish the fight.
Just a few more hits. There you go.
You still... Those numbers are still green. This could be a PB. Look at those blue numbers.
Ooh.
GG.
GG, MetroidMaster.
Holy shit. Alright, so, I mean, obviously I was in my own race. Monkey, what happened? Because I saw you...
Okay,
I saw you quit.
I was like 49 pace. I did like
40?
some cleanup. I was just messing around.
Alright.
Wow.
You were messing around? I mean, I know it's an exhibition, but...
Yeah, and I tried to go for the up strat on Omega, and I died.
Oh, no.
So I loaded a save state and killed it that way.
Okay. But, yeah. Like, I was very surprised. Like, I figured you would have, like, beaten me a long time ago, knowing that you have a much better PB than I do. But...
Yeah, it's alright. My run started out absolutely horrible. I was almost a minute behind after Morph Ball, so...
I mean, alright, so, like, I was a wee bit behind that missile, so I'm like, okay, whatever. By the time I got bombs, I was, like, 20 seconds behind. And then, like, I got a little bit back on Zasabi, and then I just had, like, a really good Saris. And I just started gaining time from then, like, maybe losing a little bit, but then I just PB by like a minute and 20 seconds. I'm like, what?
Nice.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was definitely interesting. I had like some friends come in, they were like trying to chat me up. I'm like, I have no mic because I'm racing, and I couldn't really tell them otherwise.
Yeah, we were using your game audio as well, so you'd start talking, we would have been able to hear everything.
Yeah, exactly. So like, I kept my mic off so that, you know, all that stuff. But funny thing, apparently I improved my race PB on SRL by like 4 minutes. I'm like, oh, well, okay.
Awesome.
That's a lot of minutes.
Yeah, I know. I'm just waiting to see what my final time is.
If I had to guess, it'd probably a 54, maybe a 55.
That'd be nice if it was a 54, because my last PB, which I'm still waiting for that to get approved on speedrun.com, was a 56, so this will be...
We said it was like a minute 20, so it could be a 54. We'll see.
Yeah, it could be. I'm just waiting to find out. Oh, man. Makes me wonder how I would have done against Flipside, but... I mean, I think he still got me pretty well beat, if I remember correctly, in terms of PB.
Flipside has a 53, so if
We'll see what happens.
yeah, but no, I mean, even if you drop down to 55, you've closed that gap. It's it's definitely not going to be a situation. I don't think where he's going to run away from you. You guys should definitely be having a close race. I think when you reschedule. Did you figure out when you're rescheduling, or just still got to figure it out?
We haven't quite figured that out yet. I don't know if it's going to be within this week or not, just because most of my the rest of my week is pretty much like work in the afternoons and evenings or double shifts, which those aren't quite fun. It's kind of hard to schedule races when you're working 2 jobs.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what I got. I gotta see this.
All right, we're still seeing the credits on stream here, but
All right. Let's see what I got.
I'm curious. I want to know.
It's a 55.
Darn.
Dang.
Still nice job on the PB though.
Yo, that's
See, I actually got
Yeah.
a 47 that race if you look at the stream.
yeah, it looks like a 50. I don't know. Monkey looks kind of like a 51 to me.
What?
You stop that right now. You stop that.
You stop that mess.
I know
All
you
right,
have
there we go.
11% items. You grabbed an extra E-tank. I saw you do it.
What?
Actually, you grabbed a
Yeah.
bunch of extra things. You did partial cleanup.
No, but I died. But then it's okay because I restarted and finished an entire run and got a 47.
Yeah.
Sure,
we'll
okay.
go with that.
Sure.
Yeah.
We'll submit that and verify it.
Yeah, I'm sure everyone will approve it without even having to check because
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
the human.
So yeah, no, I was just really surprised with a lot of my stuff. Like, I'm surprised that I like saved time just grabbing power bombs at that. Like, and then I think for whatever reason my comparison like changed. So I was like, huh? Like literally like had some downtime. Was like switched compared to PB. I'm like, whoa, I still save time. What is this? And then somehow I had like a really good emergency in Franker Z because I saved almost 20 seconds on that. I'm like, what? What happened?
Time saves. That's what happened.
Apparently, and a lot of them. So yeah, fun stuff. So I don't know. I might have to keep doing runs and juggle this and Zero Mission because I'm obviously steadily improving.
Yeah, most definitely.
All right.
Any final words from you, Monkey or MetroidMaster? Anything else?
That run sucked really bad.
I don't know what you're talking about. You just looks like a 47 to me.
Yeah. Yeah, that was actually it was actually a 47.58. That actually ties my in-game time PB.
Okay. Yeah, no, all I could say is I'm hoping that I keep improving as I'm running through this tournament, and I actually have like a loser's bracket run instead of going 0-2.
Yeah, at least this wasn't the real match.
That's true. Well, I mean, if it was the real match, I probably would have won because you quit.
I mean, if this was a real match, I wouldn't have died in the first place.
Yeah, no, you would have finished it off instead of playing around.
Right, because you were totally intending on dying, right, Monkey?
Yeah, yeah.
Uh-huh.
I don't know, I went for the up strat, and I've never done it before. And then I
still can't seem to get the stun lock, so I don't know if I'm just not mashing fast enough or if I'm not hitting all the shots. I don't know. But...
I think it might have been a speed thing because your positioning looked good.
Hmm. So that might be it. All right.
Looking ahead, though, that's going to do it for Fusion today. That was the only race, and you all got a special exhibition.
Yeah, it was really, really good.
Today, on a very special episode of Metroid Fusion Any%.
An exhibition between a guy that's not so good and a guy that would totally wreck him if he hadn't died. Anyway. I wonder if speedrun.com would accept this run. There was no physical reset, but there's also, hey, it's a race.
Hard to say. I guess it depends on. I honestly don't know. I've had runs turned down for not having the physical resets. So
yeah. Well, actually, I mean, there might have been. I'll just have to see if there's like a visual one. I had a soft reset, but no like power on or hard reset from the GB player. So. Don't know if that counts, but we shall see.
All right. But like we said, though, that's it for Fusion for today. Tomorrow, 5 p.m. on a channel yet to be determined, we are going to have more Fusion. And coming up next on this channel at 4 p.m. in about 20 minutes, we have the continuation of Ori and the Blind Forest.
Oh, no, that's a great speed game. If you also like Metroid, Ori and the Blind Forest is very similar.
And we really just can't get enough Metroid. Coming up later at 7 p.m., we have the continuation of the Super Metroid Random Category Tournament, which has continued to be very entertaining.
I have to check it out.
Otherwise, I think that's going to do it for us. Any final words?
No, I'm good.
Monkey?
Nope. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for watching. Hope you enjoy our little exhibition. Stick around for some Ori or some Cuphead on Speed Gaming 2. And we will see you all tomorrow for more Fusion. Have a good one.
Later.